Tonight at 10, a vigil for a group of Girl Scouts killed a week ago in northern Wisconsin.
This is News 3 at 10.
Communities around the country are gathering today to honor the 3 Wisconsin girls and 1 mother who died after being hit by an allegedly intoxicated driver last Saturday. Adam Duxter met with 1 local troop holding a vigil today and shares how they're honoring the victims.
I'm in Sauk City, where members of the local Girl Scout community are meeting today to honor the lives of 3 Girl Scouts and 1 parent volunteer lost in Wisconsin last week. Girl Scouts and their families met with heavy hearts in Sauk City today to honor the lives of Sarah Schneider, Haley Hickel, Hannah Kelly, and Autumn Helgeson. The 3 Girl Scouts and parent killed by an alleged intoxicated driver last week. Troop leaders saying they feel for the families involved.
Shook everyone. We were very tearful, very sad because it could have been any of our girls. We're in the community all the time serving.
And say it's even more harrowing knowing they've been in the same position before.
Well, I was shocked. They did everything right. They had the right number of adults. They had safety vests. They were doing things that they'd done before. There's nothing they could have done differently.
The Scouts made the most of the moment today, continuing their trend of community service by cleaning the park before the vigil and gathering food and clothing donations. The Scouts say it's the right thing to do.
They were our friends and they would help us too.
Today's vigil, part of a national remembrance, but in this Wisconsin community, the loss hits closer to home.
We need to recognize these girls and not let their loss be in vain.
Now, all the parents and volunteers I spoke with today said they're not going to let the recent events stop them or their girls from continuing to go out and do community service in this area. In Sauk City, Adam Duxter, WISC News 3.
The funerals for the 3 girls and the parent were held earlier this week. There's a vigil planned tomorrow to pay respects to the people killed during this week's shooting at a bar in Southern California. March for Our Lives Madison is teaming with other local nonprofits to put on a vigil for Thousand Oaks. People plan to gather at the UW Library Mall around 5 o'clock. They will honor the 12 people killed Thursday at the Country Bar in Thousand Oaks, about a half hour from Ventura. It was college night. Police say 26-year-old Ian Long, a former Marine combat veteran, killed himself after gunning down the victims and posting on social media that he had, quote, no reason to do it. Also in California, hundreds of thousands are out of their homes tonight as several massive wildfires burn throughout the state. One of them, the Woolsey fire, doubled in size overnight. Officials say the blaze destroyed at least 70,000 acres in Ventura and Los Angeles counties, forcing more than 200,000 people from their homes. North of Sacramento, the Camp Fire charred more than 100,000 acres and is being blamed for at least 23 deaths.
Just a shower of hot embers. Part of my sleeve and pocket on my jacket here is burned.
Powerful winds that caused fires to explode across the state calmed significantly, but forecasters warn they're likely to return to fire-ravaged areas tomorrow. All right, let's turn it over to Gary Canalti with a look at your first alert forecast. Gary.
Amanda, we've had some snow showers and flurries move through southern Wisconsin. A lot of that activity not reaching the ground, but as we take a look at Doppler radar, you can see the more concentrated areas of snow are farther to the north into central and northern Wisconsin. Here in southern Wisconsin, if any snow is reaching the ground, the best chances of that happening are north of Madison, and even that should be tapering to flurries before too long. Visibilities are at or above 10 miles through most of the major reporting stations in southern Wisconsin, indicating that perhaps just a few flurries are reaching the ground, if that. Farther north into central Wisconsin, we're seeing some visibility in the 5 to 10 mile range. That's where at least some light snow is reaching the ground. Low temperatures this morning started out in the teens over much of southern Wisconsin, although Viroqua dropped to 9 degrees. Black River Falls is down to 7. High temperatures today only in the upper 20s through much of southern Wisconsin. Milwaukee and Kenosha did make it up to the 30-degree mark, but current temperatures are still in the upper 20s thanks to the cloud cover, but wind chills make it feel like temperatures are in the upper teens. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the lower to middle 20s. Look for variably cloudy skies tomorrow. Another cold day with a high temperature of 37. That's your first alert forecast.
Thanks, Gary. Madison police are searching for a man who threatened a woman, hit her, and ran away with her purse. It happened just after 9 o'clock last night outside the Journey Seafood and Sushi restaurant on Lean Road. Officers say the woman was walking to her car when the man came up to her and fought her for the purse. The woman was not seriously injured. To protect against gun violence, a local company is bringing technology to area schools that its owner predicts will one day be as prevalent as fire alarms. Trinity Gun Shop Alarm System is developing sensors that pick up the sound of a gunshot and relay critical information like when and where it happened to those in the building and to law enforcement. The company began beta testing the system with real firearms at the Empty Community Christian School in Baraboo on Saturday, with the hopes of installing the sensors there within a year. The hope is to buy extra time and arm everyone with as much information as possible.
The gunman has the advantage right now. His element of surprise allows him an average of 3 to 5 minutes to execute his plan, and we need to take that advantage away from the gunman and give that back to the people in the building.
Trinity Gun Shop Alarm System is working with a number of local schools, a government building, and a downtown Madison nightclub to get the systems up and running. A number of Veterans Day events are taking place this weekend, honoring the 100-year anniversary of Armistice Day. The state capitol's Veterans Day program will begin tomorrow morning at 9:30 at the first floor rotunda. There will be patriotic music and several speeches from Senator Tammy Baldwin, County Executive Joe Parisi, and the parents of Gold Star veterans. There will also be a moment of silence at 11 a.m. A memorial of a World War I battle is officially open in Sauk County. A special ceremony was held today. As Josh Sprider reports from Baraboo, the cold didn't keep hundreds from coming out.
After a lot of hard work and determination, a World War I memorial was officially dedicated in Sauk County Saturday. It was 3.5 years in the making, taking $90,000 of funding to complete. Now you'll find it at Lower Oshner Park in Baraboo. Baraboo High School history teacher Steve Argo and the Baraboo 21 Club worked to create the memorial, honoring both those who died and those who returned to serve in the community.
It's specifically to thank the British Navy for rescuing those 21 boys from Baraboo that were on the Tuscania, but also the nearly 2,000 others that were on the same ship. So in my eyes, we needed a kind of national memorial for this.
News 3 first introduced you to artist Homer Dan earlier this summer. He sculpted the memorial out of clay, honoring the 200 soldiers who died on the ship heading to Europe that was sunk by a German torpedo in 1918. He says his work on the memorial was the least he could do to say thank you. After the clay memorial was bronzed at a foundry in Illinois, Dan applied a wooden backing and mounted it on a stone wall at the park.
The memorial was built to withstand all of the weather we experience here in Wisconsin. I'm told the sculpture will always be lit, so it's always available for people to honor those who have served. In Baraboo, Josh Sprider, WISC News 3.
Tomorrow marks the 100th anniversary of the war's end. Next up on News 3 at 10, winter is coming, and that means it's time to prep your car for winter. But what kind of tires should you use? Consumer Reports has that answer next. Welcome back. A local artist is honoring his father and son, both veterans, in his latest gallery show. Terry Sullivan is showing off his latest paintings at the Yahara Bay Distillery. But one painting is his favorite. It's called Staff Sergeant Sullivan, and it depicts Sullivan's father and son, who were deployed exactly 70 years apart. His father died before his son was born, but both have something in common. They both made staff sergeant while deployed.
When my son got back from Afghanistan, he was just thrilled to be in a painting with the grandpa he never met, and he got to feel a little bit closer to him that way.
Sullivan has only been painting for 6 years, but says as a medical product designer for 30 years, visual representation has been a part of his life for a long time. You can see the gallery at the Yahara Bay Distillery through November 27th. Happening right now, a colorful holiday tradition kicking off tonight in Madison. Just about a few hours ago, the switch was flipped at Olin Park for the annual Holiday Fantasy in Lights. It is the 30th year of the holiday celebration. From now until New Year's Day, you can see the lights every night after 4 o'clock. The best part is it is free. No matter what climate you live in, you're going to want reliable, long-lasting car tires to get you through whatever Mother Nature throws your way. There's a new solution on the market, all-weather tires. These use the latest engineering to achieve year-round performance, even in places that face tough winters. But are they as versatile as they claim to be? And are they worth your money? Consumer Reports puts them to the test.
If you're looking for a do-it-all tire, which can take you from a snowstorm into a heat wave, all-weather tires might do the trick.
These tires have specially engineered tread designs like this and enhanced rubber compounds, which gives them traction in cold weather that rivals winter and snow tires, and they perform well in milder conditions, similar to all-season tires.
Consumer Reports bought 630 tires this year to test 63 brands. Their tire experts conducted rigorous tests on common-sized tires in a slew of different conditions. Dry and wet roads for braking and handling, comfort, and tread wear. On snow to test traction, and they even tried stopping on a skating rink to test grip. So what happened when the rubber hit the road? The top-rated tire by Consumer Reports is Michelin's Cross Climate Plus for $171. Next, the Goodyear Assurance Weather Ready for $142.
Some of these do cost more than traditional performance all-season tires, but you'll save money in the long run. That's because you won't have to swap them out twice a year, as you do with winter tires.
And although tread life varies depending on road conditions, most all-weather tires have tread wear warranties of 45,000 miles or more. Consumer Reports also rated all-season tires a good choice in less extreme winter climates with year-round performance, and recommends the General Ultimax RT43 for $87 or the Michelin Defender T&H for $115. So get some traction this winter. Make sure you have the tires that are right for you. Keely Arthur, WISC News 3.
Consumer Reports also says don't forget to check your tire pressure during the colder months. Not only can underinflated tires wear out faster, but they can also be a safety risk. Well, we know once we start having these stories that it's getting colder, we are getting closer to winter.
I'm old enough to remember studded snow tires. We had to take them off twice a year. Yeah, you know, it's amazing what they can do with technology, but you can't change Mother Nature.
No,
the snow is there. It's there. Fortunately, we don't have much of it in the forecast. Good. Let's take a look at Doppler track tonight. Most of the snow is lifting north and east of us, and even the snow that came through really didn't amount to very much. The air near the ground is very dry, so a lot of that actually evaporated before it reaches the ground. Now you can see not much over southwestern Wisconsin. There might be a couple of flurries that continue through the overnight hours. Visibilities tell the story. Visibilities at or above 10 miles mean just a couple of flakes of snow, if that, reaching the ground. Whereas farther to the north, notice Rhinelander with 1 3/4 visibility, Marshfield 4 miles. Some places in northern Minnesota and North Dakota, visibilities have been around 1 mile. That's where the snow is probably sticking to the ground. Time lapse from the WISC Sky Cam shows clear skies this morning, giving way to a gradual increase in clouds this afternoon. This view looking toward the south and west, and you can see that the clouds were thickening up as we headed into the evening hours. And as we look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, not seeing any flakes of snow in the lights around the Capitol, so that's a good sign for now, at least as far as driving in snow. 17, the early morning low temperature, high temperature 29, well below the normals of 47 and 31. Right now we're 27 with cloudy skies, winds are out of the south at 9 miles per hour. That drops the wind chill to 18 degrees. High temperatures over the next 7 days, well below normal with the exception of Thursday, probably close to normal, a high of 43. Otherwise, temperatures in the 30s, and Tuesday might not get out of the 20s again. But there are signs that beyond next weekend, we'll see a change in the overall weather pattern. We've been showing this to you for the last couple of days, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And slowly but surely, that area of warmer than normal temperatures will be spreading eastward across the country. And by centered on the middle of next week, we should be looking at above normal temperatures from much of the Midwest back to the West Coast. About a 50% chance of above normal temperatures, and that would take us through the Thanksgiving holiday. Below normal precipitation expected over parts of the northern U.S. The only places with above normal precipitation expected are down toward Texas and Oklahoma and southern Florida. That's good news because that's a big travel period. So hopefully the weather pattern will stay quiet. There were heavy lake effect snows this morning across parts of northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. Over 6 inches of snow on the ground in those spots, but otherwise there's a lot of snow cover across the Midwest, but it's very light snow cover. It's still enough to drop temperatures, which are in the teens now over much of northwestern Wisconsin and in the 20s elsewhere. And you can see these snow showers just kind of moving along with the jet stream. The next weather system to the north and west will drop a little farther south, and all I will do is just bring in a shot of even colder air as we head into Monday and Tuesday. So highs tomorrow will be in the upper 30s, but after the second cold front comes through, we'll look for high temperatures only around 30 for Monday and probably in the mid-20s for Tuesday of this upcoming week. 22 for the overnight low temperature, cloudy and cold with just a few flurries. And then for tomorrow, variable cloudiness and cold, high temperature, a little above freezing at 37. Southerly winds and clouds will keep temperatures up into the low 20s overnight. Tomorrow, look for some breaks in the clouds at times. Otherwise, just a fair amount of cloud cover with highs in the lower 30s. A few more breaks in the clouds tomorrow night with low temperatures in the lower 20s. But notice the wind shift to the northwest, and that'll bring in colder weather. On Monday, high temperatures only around 30 degrees. And then we drop off very quickly after sunset. By 8 p.m., we're already down into the lower 20s. As we look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, those temperatures, again, very cold from Monday and Tuesday, but look for a warm-up as we head toward Thursday. Then Friday, some flurries which are a little colder, but then a little more significant warm-up for the early part of next week. And remember, Thanksgiving is Tuesday or Thursday of that following week, so hopefully that trend will continue.
So good news there. All right, thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
A border battle part 2 on the ice tonight. Highlights from the Kohl Center coming up next in sports.
Well, coming into today's game, the Big Ten title game, still a possibility for the Badgers, not completely out of the question, but it would come at a tall order, at the very least getting a win today. And Wisconsin definitely had their chances, but they would have to do it without Alex Hornibrook, who is still recovering from a concussion. Weather not helping much either. This guy apparently taking fashion cues from Joe Namath. I don't know, you tell me if it's a look or not. First quarter here, Jonathan Taylor going up the middle, breaking loose, and away he goes. Just has the ref to beat, which obviously he does. 71 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Badgers. Penn State answers in the form of Trace McSorley, who tosses to DeAndre Thompson for the 14-yard score. We've got a tie ball game. Badgers defense with a lot of reps today, doing work in the fourth quarter here. Penn State fumbles the snap, and Wisconsin recovering on the 30-yard line. Now, the Badgers offense with a lot of missed opportunities to score today, including penalties. And then this here, 4th and goal from the 20. Jack Cohn throws it to the wrong guy. Nick Scott with the interception. Just really seemed to be a mess today, and the Badgers lose 22-10. JT leading the way with 185 yards on 20 carries. And with this game, the sophomore running back has become the 4th player in Wisconsin history to put up consecutive 1,500-yard seasons. The other 3, Ron Dane, Monte Ball, and Melvin Gordon. The Badgers head to Purdue next week. Other Big Ten action today, 10th-ranked Ohio State at number 18, Michigan State. Second half action here, Spartans on the 1-yard line. Snap hits the wide receiver, Larice Nelson, who was in motion at the time. Draymond Jones recovering there for the touchdown. Buckeyes up 16-9. Later, Mike Weber goes to his right for the short 2-yard score, and Ohio State, they win 26-6. So let's check out the Big Ten West now with the Badgers and Purdue losing today. The Boilermakers, by the way, they lost to Minnesota 41-10, the final there. Northwestern clinches the division and has earned a spot in the Big Ten title game in December. The Wildcats beat Iowa today 14-10. Other action today, 5th-ranked UW-Whitewater visiting UW-Platteville for the 26th George Christ Bowl. Second half action here, Cole Wilbur hands it off to Ronnie Ponick. Stiff arm and the end zone, Whitewater up 42-7. Fourth quarter now, it's Pioneer time. Collins shoots the big throw and then the big catch from David Erkey for Platteville's second score of the game, but they are down 42-14. Whitewater tacking on more points after that. Zach Oley's a nice throw here on the slant to JT Parrish. Warhawks keep the Miners' axe with the 49-21 victory. Whitewater finishing the season 10-0 overall. It's the program's 19th undefeated season. They'll find out their opponent in the NCAA playoffs tomorrow afternoon. High school girls state swimming and diving this weekend. Edgewood winning the Division II title yesterday in a dominant fashion. Today it was time for the Division I schools. Lots of school spirit in the building at the natatorium in the form of sugar cookies, of course. Junior Leah Mickelson from Madison West up on the board first. She made it to the semifinals. Mackenzie Sanchez was up next. She plays 2nd overall, representing Racine Case. Here are the final results here. Middleton taking home the state title for the 3rd year in a row. Sun Prairie in 3rd place. Verona area Mount Horeb rounding out the top 4, and West and Memorial placing 8th and 9th respectively. The Bucks still playing some dominating basketball, coming off of a win over the Warriors. Tonight continuing their West Coast tour, facing the Clippers, who have only lost 1 game at the Staples Center this season. We needed some overtime for this one, and the Bucks not holding back. Eric Bledsoe, the alley-oop to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bucks up 3. Later, Malcolm Brogdon nails the big 3, and we are tied again. He had 23 points today. Later, Giannis with the ball and driving and dunking with a minute left to tie it up again. He had a game-high 27 points and 18 rebounds, but the Clippers hang on, 128-126, the final. And to end tonight, it was a poignant night at the Kohl Center. Ryan Straczynski, a member of the Humboldt Broncos hockey organization, he survived the team bus crash in April, dropping the puck in the ceremonial face-off between the Badgers and Gophers. First period here, Sammy Walker to Brandon McManus. He hits the back of the net, Minnesota striking first 1-0. 2 minutes left in the first period. Keandre Miller passes to Wyatt Kalnick. Sean Doogie tipping it in there in front to tie the game at 1. Badgers would hang on after that to win 3-1 the final. The two teams splitting the border battle this weekend. Wisconsin now 500 on the season. And finally tonight, during the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game, a member of the Roughneck Spirit Squad, well, he had a bit of a rough ride, if you will, on the Sooner Schooner. That's what that wagon is called there. Oklahoma scored to lead 14-7. Look at that guy in the back there holding himself up by his legs and upside down. Somehow, though, still manages to keep that OU flag waving despite being dragged around the field. That takes some talent there, I think. A lot of like quad strength. My hamstrings are kind of like hurting.
And he was
just
waving it with pride, not even like a little fear there. A little fear, but you know, still going. Got to keep going.
Exactly. I'm like sore for him. He's going to be very sore, I feel
oh,
like,
he's
tomorrow
sad.
morning.
All right, we'll be right back with the final look at weather. We've got a cold week ahead, but not too bad.
I mean, you know, it's November. You got to get used to it, and with not a lot of snow either, it's not too bad. Listen to Melissa. She's like she's been here forever. You know? She looks at the radar and sees the snow, and she's racing for the car already. The snow not coming down very hard, at least in our viewing area. Maybe just a few flurries. Temperatures on the cold side in the 20s right now. High temperature tomorrow, 37, then colder again for Monday and Tuesday. There are signs, though, as we head closer to Thanksgiving later next week, we might see a warm up even beyond those temperatures.
All right, thanks for joining us. Have a good night.